Hello and welcome back, Realty Pros. We are so excited this evening. We have started a series that is with the intention of building our pipeline for this New Year's businesses and transaction that we're going to be involved in. And so we're going to continue in that. Mrs. Porter is conducting this training, and so you know it's always going to be great. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it over to you, Mrs. Porter. Thank you so much to everyone who has decided to join us this evening. We're excited for you and all the information that we have that's going to be shared this evening. So thank you again.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Anita. Welcome to everybody. We are excited to have part 2 of last week's training. And if there's anybody that's here or online, and hopefully even that'll listen to this video who wasn't here with us last week, hopefully you will have the same takeaway, that there is gold in the palm of your hands. And everything that we do in real estate, we do it with a single purpose. And that purpose is to close deals. And how do you close deals? By generating leads. So when we're talking about the gold that's in the palm of your hands, that's from the perspective of recognizing the leads that you have currently today, maximizing those opportunities and converting them. So that is essentially everything that we're talking about. That's what our goal is going to be. And as we go through this gold series, we're going to be identifying those things, because we've talked about so many things as it pertains to leads and where to find them. But one of the most pertinent pieces that we pointed out is as it pertains to our sphere of influence. Let me go back to this slide right here, because 70% of our business is going to come from the people that we already know. So as a refresher from last week, I just want to go over this information very quickly before we get into the new information for tonight. Your sphere of influence, who is that? Who does it entail? Where are they found? Is there anybody in your sphere of influence that you can say, well, I know this person, but I don't have contact information for them? How can you get that contact information? Who do you guys have in common? Who do you see on a regular basis that you actually have conversations with all the time, but you may not have contact information in your phone for them? Who are these people? And then once you get their information, what do you do next with that information, right? Because we want them to be clients, not just contacts. So in order to get them there, we're going to be moving them from contacts into our book of business. But first, we've got to solidify those contacts. And that's exactly what we did last week when we began this gold in the palm of your hand. So if you were here last week, I want for at least 2 people to take yourself off of mute and tell me what you got out of last week's training. We had a text campaign that was initiated last week where you guys were going to reach out to all of these people that were currently in your phones. We went over some things. Each one of our agents, your goal was to take a look at what you already have. What's in your hands? Also, often we look at what we don't have and we say, well, if I had this, then I could do that. Or I'm not able to accomplish this because I don't have that. But the truth is, we have everything that we need already in our hands. And what our responsibility is to maximize that, be faithful over it, and do what we need to do to steward that to get us to the next level. So as it pertains to last week, many of us had hundreds of people in our phones. Some of us had thousands of people on our phones. Many of us had hundreds to thousands of people that we were connected with, that in the click of a button or the touch of just one character on our phone, we could be in direct communication with those people. So our homework from last week was to follow up with those people. We downloaded A to Z Contact for everybody that has an iOS device, and those who have any type of Galaxy or Android device. You guys had an equivalent. I believe it was Textra. But our goal was to actually start to prospect within our current cell phones so that we can get people's contact information. So before we continue with tonight, I want to hear from you guys. When you sent out that text message, did you start to get feedback? If so, what was that process like? Did you get an abundance of emails? Tell me what that response was like for you, and tell me what takeaway you have from that before we go on tonight. And I'm looking for some courageous people just to join in on the conversation. Otherwise, we can just call on some people because we really want all of you to get the most out of this training. All right. So if you were here with us last week, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, this is Aurelia, maybe some feedback. I did reach out to, I sent it out 3 times because I actually separated my contacts into groups of people. And so I sent out, I was doing it each day. So as I send out the first group of people, I sent out the initial email asking them to update me with their email address. I did get a lot of response. Sometimes I got delayed response because I was then going to send the second email, but I wanted to kind of send it like we did with the group text. So I waited until the next day to send the second one to the first group, and the same thing the following day for the second group. So I did get response of emails updated, even if I got the same. Some of them say my email has not changed, and then I sent the second email out. My thing is when I went to send the second email out, it sent it out as a group, and I believe Mrs. Porter said she's going to address that because it didn't send it out individual. It didn't allow me to click each individual name, and it grouped the names together. But that's the process I went through. Like I said, I did that 3 times this week, and it was very successful.
Thank you so much for your feedback. And for everybody that's in the office, we want your feedback as well. Just let me know before you unmute yourself so that we won't have that static and I can mute myself for you. But that's excellent. You heard that Aurelia broke it down into 3 different groups. And that's excellent so that you allow yourself time to follow up with these people. We talked about breaking it down depending on the number of contacts you have. If you have thousands, you might want to just do A through D on one day. Then the next day you might do E through whatever on the next day, so that you're actively following up with these people with that second text message. And I want to say this, and I want for you guys to embrace this. Those text messages in the order, they are very intentional. So copy them. We've put them into the WhatsApp group chat for you. Go to that WhatsApp group chat, copy it, put it in the notes on your phone so that immediately once you begin to get responses from your text campaign, you can just send that text message, the second one. And based on the response, you can send the third one, okay? Once you have mastered it, then you can, add whatever you want to add and go to the 4th and the 5th, but we really want you guys to follow that system because it works. You can add your own voice, your own tone, and all of those things, but the objective of each one of those text messages is to get to a point where you're asking them, do they need help in real estate? And you're really generating real estate leads there. So follow that text campaign because it's going to give you a lot of success. So kudos for everybody who's done that. Let me ask, is there anybody else on the line that you started sending out your text messages and maybe you got many more responses than you thought you were going to get? If so, let me know what that process was like. Give me some feedback on that. Let's see. Let's see who we're going to ask. Marcus or Tony? There's so many of you that I would love to hear from on this line tonight. Drop a message in the chat if you're not able to unmute yourself, because I really want to be able to hear from each and every last one of you before we go to this next step, because the goal is for all of us to do this together so that you guys, you don't have to worry about doing it on your own. You have people, accountability partners, and you're making progress as a group. All right. So if you have any feedback or any takeaway or anything like that from the first step in this process, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and move forward to the next step. All right. So as you go through that first phase, the goal is we're going to contact all of the people that we have immediately within our cell phones. And what we're going to do with those contacts, once you receive those emails, you can simply touch on that email in your phone and save it to your contact in your phone. Once you save it to your contact in your phone, everybody should already have Constant Contact downloaded on your phone. That Constant Contact app on your phone is what you're going to go to in order to now upload the contacts from your device. So I'm going to say that again, because I don't want you to think, okay, now I got all these emails, I got to go in constant contact and type them in, or, do whatever the case is. That is not what you have to do. It is so very easy to accomplish this. And remember, the purpose in getting all these contacts in the first place is to add them to your book of business. And your cell phone, they're a contact, and that's great. But until they're added to your marketing campaign, until they're added to your constant contact, they're not yet a part of your book of business. So step one, get the information. Step two, upload it into constant contact. Okay. Then step three is where you're going to be marketing to them on an ongoing basis. But we've got to get them all into the constant contact. Once we finish that, well, first let me ask, as it pertains to A to Z contact, I heard that Aurelia was sending hers out as a group. We'll go over what that should look like for you guys. We've done some screen captures so that you can see what each step in that process looks like. Last week, we had Akaya doing it on her cell phone, so she was able to share it on the screen, but I recognize that some of us were at different places, and I want to make sure that you don't miss anything. So if you still need help with constant contact, ensuring that your messages are going out correctly and ensuring that it's going to just one person at a time, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. If you've accomplished that without any difficulty whatsoever, I want you to put a 2 in the chat. Let me hear from you guys so I know how extensively we need to go into this evening. Great job, Tony. I see your message. What about you guys in the office? Okay. Aurelia, I see you said 1. Kermon, you have 1. Anybody else? If you need to unmute yourself, you can. Marcus, 1. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go to some examples, if you will. All right. So we all know that we have to have A to Z contacts, but let's go down to exactly what that's going to look like. And I'm going to, let's see if I can make this larger for you guys. Can you see? I'm going to recast that page. Give me just a second and I will cast it for you so that you can see what that looks like. Because based on what you select will determine whether or not A to Z Contacts sends it out individually or if it sends it out as a group message. And you want each person to receive this individually as if you've sent it only to them. All right. Do you guys see that? Yeah, I should be able to see it. Let's see. Let's make sure everybody in the office can see it as well. All right. You should be able to see that now. Okay. So when you go into A to Z contacts, you're going to see all of your contacts on the left because you're going to hit the button to upload all of them. And you'll see all of the options that you have on the left. And then when you hit that button or that little pencil so that you can start to send messages out, you'll then be able to choose the contacts that you want to send that message to. So you can choose, as you see within that one option or that first little segment, I had selected 14 people just within that first grouping. You can deselect anybody that you don't want to get that message. You can select everybody that you do want to get that message. But most importantly, we're going to go to the next stage. On that next page, and let's see, this is moving around a little bit here. On this very next page, what you're going to see, here we are. A tip, it's going to tell you to make sure that your SMS notifications are turned on. And then once you hit OK on that and you hit the little bubble so that you can send that message out, down at the bottom is where you see message or max recipients per message. You guys should be able to see that max recipient per message. And you want to change that to just 1. So that even if you have maybe 50 of them selected or 75 selected, it's only going to send it to one at a time. Whereas if you have max recipients per message, if it says 5 right there, then it's going to send that to all 5 people together as a group text. So make sure that that number says just 1. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that? All right. You can walk along. All right. So you send that, you're going to choose all of those people. So you're going to have check marks beside the people that you're actually going to send it to. So have you chosen who you want it to send to? Come up here, Aurelia.
Different groups, right?
Okay, so you're gonna go.
First.
So you're
guess
gonna
I just
touch on
put
your
it-
pencil first. Once you
Okay.
touch on that pencil, then you'll put a checkbox beside everybody that you want to send that message to.
With the group.
So you're intentionally sending it to 33 people at one time?
Right. But
Okay,
when I first. But the second. It tried to group that message.
you have it saved as a group. That's why. So you have this saved as 33 people. Instead of one checkbox per individual, you have them grouped already. You have groups of 8, 33,
But it worked the
57, and
first time.
28. You should still be able to do it. Let's try this. Let's try. So if you go here and you hit that bubble down there
Mhm.
and you go to, so this group, those are all the people in your group. You
Mhm.
guys should be able to follow. You go to next, and then your
Yes.
maximum recipients per message, you have 600. So you
So,
want to
see,
back
that's
that
where I
out
went
and you
wrong.
want to put 1 so that you're only sending it to 1 at a time. So
There
even
you
if
go.
you have 33 people selected, yes. So to answer Aurelia's question, when you're sending this message out, if you have groups, you might have a group of maybe 500 people that are all within the same category. When you get to actually send that message, this button at the bottom where you see on the bottom right-hand side, it says max recipients per message. You want to go to that and you want to change it to 1. Because when you change that max recipients per message to just 1, it doesn't matter how many people you have in that group, it's just going to send it to them individually. It will clump them all together and send it to them individually. So then for you, for the sake of your texting, you're just going to hit send, 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 send. Yes, you got it. So this is where you are. You're going to hit this button. So we'll go again, and I'll do the same thing with Kermon in front of you guys. Okay, sure. So you've gone into A to Z contacts and you have the contacts on the left. You put the check boxes beside the ones that you wanted to send it to. And now you're going to hit this bubble at the bottom so you can send a message to them. All right. And it's telling you which of your contacts are eligible for those text messages. And you say, okay, I want to go and move forward with that. You hit next. And when you hit next, this is great because your max recipient at one time is 1 person. That's perfect. You want to drop your message there. Yours is already correct. You did it right, Kermon. There you go. Kermon, yours was already done correctly. And just to reiterate that piece one more time, at the bottom where you see max recipient per message, if it says anything other than 1, then you are sending out a group message. You want that to say 1. Okay, and you can click on it and change it. Where it says max recipients, you back out whatever number's in there. If it's anything other than 1, and you simply type 1. And once you do, you hit okay, you drop your message in there. And then we'll take it from there. Copy and paste. Yep. Yes. How are we coming along? Excellent. We see you guys. All right. Now that we've given that piece of clarity, how are you guys coming along? All right. We want to make sure that everybody's successful so we can move on to the next step. If you guys are good, then we'll continue, but I don't want to leave you in case you have any questions. Because what we did next is we grabbed that message from WhatsApp, and that was the very first one, right? But chances are you've already followed up with people since then, so you might be on your second or your third message. Now, what we're going to do with that is you're going to add your business card to the bottom of that, so that as you added your message in here, you see where you can go to attachments. Let me take a step back for you guys. You see in this display right above, you see where you can add attachments, you see max recipients, you see selected template, you see messaging app, all of these as options. When you click on attachment at the bottom, now you can add your business card to it. Because you're going to go to, when you hit on that attachments, it's going to ask, hey, where do you want to add that attachment from? You're going to add it from your photos if you have your business card saved as a photo on your phone. If you have it in your Dropbox or your files or wherever you have that saved, that's where you're going to connect it from. But for me, I had it right in my photos. So you click on that photo and then you find that attachment right there, which is your virtual business card. And you'll see that it's attached because under the attachment, you'll see that card right there. So once you've done that, then this is what your message is going to look like. You're going to go back and you simply hit OK because you will have already composed the message. You've already added your attachment. And then this is what the final product's going to look like. And you simply hit that button to click send. And again, you're paying attention that in your to field, it only has one person's name. And you simply hit that blue arrow so as to send it to that one person. And say by chance you have 50 people there, within 30 seconds, you will have tapped all 50 of those. You would have tapped send 50 times and you have all of them sent out in about 30 seconds or so. All right. So I'm going to pause right there for questions. I want to make sure that everybody's doing good with that because I really want us to be able to move forward and maximize this. Does anybody have any questions? Are you still having any difficulty? If so, come on up here or take it off of mute. Let's walk through it. Anita is looking for her electronic business card. Yeah. So you guys, so for anybody else who's wondering what I'm talking about, when I'm talking about your electronic or your virtual business card, when you joined and you had to approve your business card, you would have gotten an email and that email would have had your business card in there. And what we have you guys to do is download that right to your photos in your phone. So save it. Create an album that says virtual business card so that every time you're out prospecting and you need to send your card to somebody on the fly so that you can collect their information too, you go straight to that file in your photos and you share that business card right with them from there. And if you have it there already, then that's the attachment that you're going to add to your message in A to Z contacts. So you see how this turns out on the right-hand side, guys? You have another question, Aurelia? Good. All right. How about yours, Kermon? You good now? All right, you can help him now, Aurelia. You sure can. Where yours is? Marcus, how are you doing? Marcus, how are you doing with it? Have you gotten through that part yet?
Oh, I'm just walking in.
Okay. Did you
So
see the point of clarity and how you were
yes,
able to just
I
send it to that one person at a time?
yes, I did. I did see the what was it? It was the max recipient
Yeah,
to put to one, and so that was the thing that I needed help with.
excellent. All right. If everybody is clear with that part, then we are going to move forward with the rest of the training tonight. I know we have a couple people that are still working on it in the office, and I'm excited that you guys are able to see now where you can make this very easy for yourself and you don't have people saying, hey, why are you include me on that group message? Because everybody will get it just as if it was sent to them as an individual. All right. You can add your virtual business card. You can add any attachment to it that you want. So an attachment from a file, an attachment from a photo. You might even have somebody, depending on a campaign that you do in the future, if you do maybe for your buyers from last year, you might send pictures of the buyer, you and them at the closing or something. And you can add, you might be able to, I'm not sure. You can check that out because that's a link that will be good to know.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be good. All right. So now that we all have that information, how are we going to maximize that? We've talked about the people that are in our cell phones. We've talked about the people that are online in your Facebook and all these people online. But who else do we have that is right under our feet? Can anybody tell me who else do you have that's right under your feet? We talked about the people in the palm of your hand because you already have their information. But who else that's right under your feet? And when I say that, I want you to think about the lowest hanging fruit. Think about people that you know, and they'd be happy to share information with you. You just don't have it yet. Who would those people be? Aurelia said your family. Who else? Who else? I'm glad to see you guys working on the A to Z campaign, so maybe we'll stay there for a moment because I want you guys to maximize that. How are you doing with it? Okay. How about online? How are you guys doing with it? I'll reiterate that piece one more time. From the A to Z campaigns, you're sending out that first campaign, you're saving the emails, and then you are uploading those emails into Constant Contact. Once you upload them into Constant Contact, then you'll be able to market to them. But still, we want you to get through text message number 2 as well as text message number 3 so that you can get business from them. And I can assure you, I can nearly guarantee you that if you go through your entire cell phone with these text messages for every person that you know, I guarantee you have not only leads, but you have clients and you have people that are going to call you or you'll be able to connect with this week. I guarantee that. So with that being said, I want for each and every last one of you to remember what you got last week. In that we went through the numbers and we broke it down. Let me go back here a little bit. As we were talking about our making it easy, breaking down the numbers and the number of contacts that you need to have in order for you to have just at least 100K in commissions for the year. And we said 2,400 contacts. 2,400 contacts was 200 leads, which gave you 24 appointments, which gave you, the 10 closed transactions that you need. You had your 6 sold listings and then your buyers and so forth and so on. And all of that equated to an hour to an hour and a half of daily prospecting. So the biggest part about us looking at what we already have in the palm of our hands is because for the vast majority of us, you're already starting out with hundreds of people or even thousands of people. So if you know that you already have 500 contacts in your hand, what did we do last week? You take that 500 contacts, divide it by 12, that's how many leads you had. Divide that by 2, that's how many appointments that you have waiting on you today. So I want to make sure that that point is abundantly clear that every last Realty Pro, you have business in the palm of your hands as of today. It is waiting on you. And this is exactly how you're going to start this year off strong and reach your goals for the year. And Tony, I'm glad that you have clarification now. Excellent. Does anybody have any questions about that step in the process? All right. When we get through this next part, then we're going to continue with the text campaign for this evening. Because I want for everybody before we leave to get through text number 2 if you have not yet. What do I mean? I mean that for everybody that's already responded to text number 1, you go straight to text number 2. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because I don't want you to wait until you get through your whole phone full of contacts, sending out text number 1 to everybody. before you start sending out text number 2. You got to have text number 2 and 3 downloaded to your phone so that as soon as they respond, you're immediately responsive. You don't want to reach out to them to generate leads and then go hold and say, oh, well, I was waiting until next week until I got through everybody in my phone. That's why I didn't respond to you. No, when they respond, you respond. They respond again, you respond, because remember, these are leads and you're looking for the gold that's right in the palm of your hands. And that's how you're going to get there. All right. Does anybody have any questions, any takeaways, any thoughts or anything about that?
I can say I feel, let's see if I wanted to.
Go ahead.
I can say I failed to mention that I got a cousin that called me and wanted me to help his son. That was just yesterday. And that was from the text that we sent. So I sent him the lender information and I'm just waiting for him to respond for his pre-approval.
Excellent. And that is consistently what we get every time we do these text campaigns. So if you are diligent to do these very simple things, I guarantee you're going to get leads, you're going to get clients, you're going to get listings, you're going to get closings. And guess how much it costs you? I like to hear Anita say the low price of $3.99 or free. I'm going to ask again. You have leads in the palm of your hand. You have closings right there, buyers, sellers, listings, people for your pipeline this year and next year. And how much does it cost you? Anita said an hour of your time. Literally. So what are we going to do? We had a training earlier today and we heard our sync trainer. He was talking about the best hours a day to reach people, where you maximize the spikes in people receiving calls and responding, and the best days of the week. We're going to take all of that information and we're going to put it together. If we know that the best time to reach people is between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., those are the 3 hours. If we want to put our time and invest it anywhere throughout the day, that's when we're going to make calls. That's when we're going to reach out to people. That's when we're going to carve out time so that once we've done our texting and our due diligence, we know that this is going to be follow-up time, because that's when people are going to start to respond to you. Okay? So with that being said, we're going to take that information and put it together and then move to the next step in this. All right? Does anybody else have any leads or conversations that you guys are having about potential purchases as a result just yet? For anybody that has done step 1. All right, if you guys want to take yourselves off mute, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to move forward. All right, next. We're talking about the gold that is under our feet. We know we've already talked about all the people that are in the palm of our hands. There's so many people that are family, friends, acquaintances, colleagues, church members, neighbors, children's friends, children's parents, children's school teachers, so forth and so on. But I want you guys to think outside the box, because the goal is going to be to get as many contacts as possible based on your numbers for your income goal for this year. So for some of you, your contacts, you need to have at least 2,400 contacts. For others of you, you might need to have 3,400 contacts. Whatever that looks like for you, we're clearly defining what that sphere of influence is so that you know where 70% of your business is going to come from, right? Because these are the people that already know, like, and trust you, or these are the people that will be referred to you by somebody that already knows you, likes you, or trusts you in that regard. So I want you guys to start to think about people as you reach out to your sphere of influence, to ask them, hey, would you send me 2 people that you know that could use my help this year? We even talked about telling them my goal is to help 100 families this year to either buy or sell their home. Do you know anybody that could use my help? Right? I know I say that, and some of you might hide your face and say, did she say 100 houses this year? We're talking about big, hairy, scary goal. And then we're also talking about something that when you share that with your sphere of influence, that's a pretty audacious number. And it'll say to them, wow, I really need to help. I need to send Anita some business. I need to send Aurelia, Angela, Kermon. I need to send all of these Realty pros some business because they're looking to help all of these people. Yes, I know somebody that I can send over to them. So that's the purpose of that. But it goes so much further because our sphere of influence, it is literally everybody that you know, including people like your accountant, your car mechanic, your caterer, classmates from elementary school, high school, college, contractors, co-workers of your spouse, or your partner, your dentist, your doctor, your dry cleaner, the electrician that comes to your house, the plumber that comes to your house, of course, your family, your florist. We know your friends and the families of kids, but what about your hairstylist? What about your nail technician? What about your neighbors? What about all the people that you see when you come outside in your community and you wave and say, hey, and you pick up packages for them or whatever the case may be? Or some people you may have never even picked up packages for, but you wave and they know your face and they know that you're in the community, but you never stop to have a conversation with them. All of these people are included in this category as gold up under your feet because these are people that you have access to. These are people who either need to buy or sell or know people who need to buy or sell. So think about these people. Think about your hairstylist, your nail technician, your eyelash technician, your photographer, your people that work at the restaurants that you go to, your roofer. We already know the people in your social network contact. We talked about those, but people that share the same sports team, teachers, volunteer organizations. There are so many different people that you know. So when we're talking about being intentional about growing this contact base, we haven't even gotten outside of the realm of people that we don't know yet. And we already know that 70% of the people, 70% of our business at least is going to come from all the people that we currently know. So when we're dividing our time into what is going to be most productive to me, my prospecting time should be 70% at least focused on my sphere of influence. And if I want to say 30% focused on people that I don't know, because that's going to be the balance of your business. And there have been times in our career where we look and say, actually 90%, 95% of our business came from the people in our sphere of influence. And then maybe 10% came from elsewhere. So that I hope is so crystal clear and simplistic for you guys, because I want to make it so easy that a fifth grader can get it. Because that fifth grade teacher is a potential home buyer or a person who needs to sell their home, who needs to lease a property, or who wants to get into real estate. So think in terms of maximizing your opportunities everywhere that you go. We talked about people from, alumni associations. These are prospects for you guys. Your local retailers, if you always go to the Giant or the Wegmans, or you go to your Trader Joe's, or you go to your CVS, or whatever the case is, every last person in there should have an Angela Skipper card. Every last person in there should have a Kermon McPayton card. They should have a Talita Bynum card. Every last person in there, they should know that you are their neighborhood realtor and you can help them. Those local retailers, one thing that you know is that they're employed. And in order for them to be able to purchase, that's one of the critical factors. They have to be credit, income, and assets. They have to have income. Now, they have some type of assets because they have a job. They might have benefits, they might have a savings, or whatever the case is. So when you think in terms of local retailers, when you go into a store, I want you to be on a mission. When you think in terms of sending out hi, hello cards, or your virtual business card, or handing them a card, I want you to think in terms of just exchanging information with the people who see you all the time anyway. Why? You go to that Giant every single week. You give all your money to that Giant. You go to that Starbucks every single week, sometimes every single day. If you're giving all your money to them, shouldn't every last employee in there have your business card? If you're doing a home buyer seminar, if you're doing anything in real estate, shouldn't every single one of them have your contact information? I would say so. What about your service providers? What about the people who are coming to your house to do work? They're coming and providing you with the service. This is the gold up under your feet. when we really take an account for everything that we have that is right in our grasp, we realize that there is an abundance of resources and opportunities that all we have to do is tap into it. This is the gold that is right up under our feet. And we haven't even gotten into all of the people that you would need a second and third and fourth person to introduce you to. We're talking about the people that you can have a face-to-face conversation with. Can you guys think of anybody else? And there are lots of other categories that we have not yet talked about because this list is extensive. It goes on and on. I want you to put your thinking caps on, and I want you to think about, okay, well, who haven't we mentioned? What other sources of referrals or what other sources of business in general do we have that's right up under our feet that we may not even consider? Angela? Yes.
I was gonna say, in our line of work, we meet home inspectors, we meet people as realtors,
Mhm.
and then you have to we tend to forget.
Angela said in our line of work, we meet people like home inspectors and, we're realtors, contractors, all of those people. They need to buy homes too. And we forget to prospect them. Mm-hmm. That's right. There you go. You guys got your thinking hat. Uh-huh. That's right. That's right.
So, and one of the things that
Herman, I want you to take yourself off of mute. I want them to hear you. Okay. Well, Kermon is saying that at the gas station, he's talking about the people who come and pick up your trash, the people who service your house. When you go to the gas station, beyond the people that are at the pump with you, go up to the service counter, give them your business card. Who else, Kermon?
I was out with Mr. Porter.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Porter called 4 different people.
Uh-huh.
One guy was guy who played football with in high school.
Yes.
Another young lady was worked at Costco, and you both been asking about me.
Uh-huh.
Another guy was a guy that was a
Uh-huh.
and then it was another guy who just came to say, but you run into people like that all the time. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
The lady who was working at Costco, we talked to you and she said, "You know, we said, I'll give you my number. Maybe time, but you want to talk." He said, "But she's not gonna call."
There you go.
And that was amazing because I said, you know what, I don't have it. Always had, but he just wouldn't
For
talk.
sure.
Always had a business card. So I think one of the things that you're saying is there are a lot of people that we go past every day.
Every day.
Yeah. And one of the things
I hope you guys can hear Kermon because I'm not going to be able to repeat all that. He's saying a lot of really good stuff. Yes. Uh-huh. Give him your computer, please.
Okay, great. All I was saying, guys, is that there's a lot of people that we just pass by every day. Okay, we just don't think about it because you see them every day. I go to the grocery store. I'm the shopper for the family, and there's a couple of ladies who who at the register, and I see them all the time. And so one day I just asked the young lady, because I thought she looked kind of young. I said, "You look too young to be working here." And she just started laughing. And I said, "You ready to purchase your first home?" And she said, "I am." Gave her a card. So you just never know who's who. But here's what you do know. You know she has a job.
That's right.
If nothing else, you at least know that. And as far as credit, I tell people I can work with credit. As long as you have a job and you have not filed for bankruptcy, like in the last 6 months, 2 years, and you haven't, when the foreclosure, we can get it done. So 2024 is the year that everyone should get a house. It's like Oprah did on her show. You get a house, and you get a house, and you get a house. So that's the only thing I wanted to say. But it just reminded me with Mr. Porter. Everybody knows Mr. Porter, and he was just ready to go. He was ready to talk to everybody. Here you go, Angela. He was ready to go with everybody that came up to him. So
Excellent. And one of the things that, make sure you guys can hear this. One of the things that Kermon said before he got on Angela's computer is that when he was out with Mr. Porter today, Mr. Porter was talking to everybody and he had business cards ready to go, passing them out. They were coming up to him and he was just passing out those business cards. So I want to remind you guys, you should have business cards on you every day. Ladies, you should have them in your purse. Guys, you should have them in your pocket. You should have them in your car. You should have them in your and your, what is it called? Your center console or whatever in your car. You should have them in your ashtray in your car or wherever you need to have them. You should have cards everywhere so that you can always maximize that opportunity. But we are in an electronic age. So when we're talking about collecting information or exchanging information, we want you guys to be intentional to do one of two things. So Porterhouse has given each and every last one of you a copy of your virtual business card. Download it to your phone. If you don't have it at the moment, go to Hi Hello. We'll put it in the WhatsApp group chat. Go to Hi Hello, and we want you guys to create your profile so you can automatically send that to people virtually, right? There was something else. So there are many options. Today, Andrew on training, he was talking about directly connected to your Porterhouse website. He was talking about the ETA app, if you will. So your sync app that you log in and you add the contacts. Once you add the contact, you can automatically invite them. So there's so many different ways where you can exchange information so that it goes beyond you simply handing out a card, but you receiving information as well so that you truly created that exchange. And you can follow up with those people and then you add them to your book of business. That's the purpose of everything that you're doing to get them into your book of business in the first place. So maximize those opportunities. Whenever you pass out information, you should be receiving information. So keep that in the forefront of your mind. You should be thinking, how can I do it? So before you even go out, you need to have your virtual business card saved or download Hi Hello, but you should be ready to go. All right. Who else have we not mentioned on here in terms of all of the people that we come into contact with, we have conversations with, have had conversations with, have the ability to connect with on an ongoing basis? Name some other people. Your doctor, your dentist. Who else? You think they have jobs? Your orthodontist.
It's tax time, so your accountant.
Your accountant. Absolutely. Who else? We have all kinds of people in this industry, lawyers, everybody, all of them. Connect with them, guys. Let's think of some other people, because as we get to this second phase and we're maximizing these, everybody that's in our sphere of influence, this is where we're going to spend 70% of our time. So when we talked about that, making it easy, breaking down the numbers page where we were talking about collecting 2,400 to 3,600 to 4,800 or however many contacts you need in order to reach your income goal, this is where the vast majority of those are going to come from. Your sphere of influence. This is 70% of the people that are going to work with you anyway. Your sphere of influence. With your sphere of influence, when somebody refers you to somebody, you have a 50% chance that that person is actually going to work with you versus a cold call. You have between 1% and 2% chance, right? If you're just calling somebody, you have a 1% and 2% chance that they're going to give you the listing. But if it's a referral from your sphere of influence, you have a 50% chance that they're going to work with you. So let me ask you this, and I hope it's abundantly clear because I'm intentional about trying to break this down so that it's so easy a fifth grader can get it. Where should you be spending your time? It's not a trick question. With your sphere of influence. If you're increasing contacts, which contacts should you be increasing? Your sphere of influence. There you go. There's more. All of these people here, your barber, the person that does your hair, the person at the coffee shop. We already said the grocery store, the gas station, so much more. All of these people, the person that you might buy your essential oils from. You know how it is, guys. We have people that make certain things and you say, oh, this is the person that I get my jewelry from. Or this is the person that makes that nice oil that I wear. or the whomever, whatever those products are, but you guys should be patronizing each other's businesses. There should be some reciprocity. If you're doing business with somebody else, the hope should be that they would do business with you as well. All right. But all of that is in an effort to maximize your sphere of influence. So I'm going to stop there for the moment, and I'm going to ask you guys to think. I want you to think about how you can maximize your book of business through your sphere of influence. Over the next 30 days, you should not only be reaching out and sending these text messages out, but you should be able to, at least from every person that you text, you're going to get to the point where you're asking them to send you 2 contacts. So by chance, if you're starting out and you say, I have 300 contacts in my phone, you're going to ask each contact to send you at least 2 people that you can help this year in real estate, that you can help to buy or sell a home. So if you start out with 300, you tell everybody to send you 2, and the next 90 days, you have 900 contacts. You guys see how we did that? You multiplied your contacts from 300 to 900 because you got all of those 300 contacts to send you 2 additional people. So you got 600 additional people. And if you do the same thing with those people, you see how you're going to multiply your contacts again? Then you go from 900, then you're going to go to 1,800, then you're going to go to 2,700, so forth and so on. So that's one of the ways for you to multiply your contacts through your sphere of influence. The other way is for everybody that you should be intentional. Now, when I walk past that person in my church that I've had all those conversations with, I'm gonna say, hey girl, how you been? I was thinking about you the other day and realized I didn't have any contact information for you. Let me send you my my business card. Let me send you my virtual business card. What's your number? And you're gonna do that. The next person, how are you? I'm gonna send you my virtual business card. Let me make sure I have your contact information. The person that you go to that does your nails, you always service me so well. I appreciate it. If you ever need my help, I want to be able to do the same thing for you. What's your telephone number? Let me send you my virtual business card. You want to do that for every single person that we just referenced on here, including the people that we didn't reference, because all of these people are in your sphere of influence. And if you are not doing business with the people in your sphere of influence, either number one, you're a secret agent, or number two, you're not being courageous to do the things that we are sharing with you, because I guarantee you they work. And you will reach your income goals. You will do more than you ever thought you'd be able to do. You'll go to new levels in your real estate business, and you will be very, very happy with real estate as an industry if you follow these simple steps that we're giving you to maximizing your income by just prospecting within your sphere of influence for this year. That's where I'm going to end our training for this evening. And I want to just say to you guys that if you take hold of these things that we're sharing and you actually apply them, you are going to be more successful this year than you've ever been before in your real estate career. I truly believe, and I just speak over everybody in Porterhouse, that this is going to be a makeup season. This is going to be a makeup year for everything that you didn't get to do last year that you wanted to do, for all the business that you wanted to have that you may have left on the table. This is the year where you're going to be able to maximize all of that. So I just believe that this will be a makeup season for all your leads, all your clients, all your settlements, and all those things. And it's going to happen when you grab it. You got to go after it and actually do the things that we're sharing with you guys. So on that note, I will end there with the presentation portion of this evening, and I will turn it over to you guys if you have any thoughts, you have any questions, any comments, any key takeaways. But I do want to hear from some of you guys that are online, because those that are in the office have been very participatory in our training this evening. But I don't want to overlook you guys. If you're not here and you have something that's a key takeaway or something that you'd like to say, we would like to hear from you guys as well. All right, the floor is yours. I'm turning it over to you. All right, so let's see. We have a couple people that I haven't heard from. If you are able to unmute yourself, Anastasia, unmute yourself and let me know what your key takeaway is from training. And if Anastasia is unable to unmute herself, Tony, if you would unmute yourself and let me know what your key takeaway is. And in that order, Tony, if you are unable to, Marcus, I want to hear from you. but we want to make sure that you guys are getting the most that you can out of training.
So the key takeaway for me tonight is just the reality of what we have around us and how to use it and really zone in and take advantage of the things that are just right there and the people and the contacts and leads that are just right there around us. That's the key takeaway for me tonight.
Tony, you stated that so perfectly. That was excellent. Thank you. Does anybody else have any thoughts?
Yes. Well, my key takeaway was the A to Z app actually make sure that it doesn't send it to everybody. It was that one tidbit that I needed to get, but also the same thing is, leads are all around us at all times, basically.
Outstanding. Excellent. Anybody else? Any key takeaways from in the office? Unmute yourself so that they can hear you.
I think it's a great reminder for us all, and it is a great way to start the new year. So if you don't have clients that you're working with right now, this can easily kind of prime that pump and give you clients that you're able to work with.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to let you go. Be diligent, be accountable. The text messages are in the WhatsApp group chat. If you have any questions or you need help, just reach out to me so that we can get through this together. All right, guys? We're going to end right there for the night. You guys have a great rest of the evening. And on Saturday, we're having our boot camp. So converting leads into buyers. That's our boot camp for this Saturday. It is going to be dynamic from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. We have Curtis Price and Marcus King. They're going to be bringing that buyer insight, how to convert those buyers, those leads into buyers and get them all the way through to closing. So we are excited. Make sure that you guys are here on Saturday morning, and we will see you then. Have a good night.
Good night.